Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Simon from W3MCT, and today we are going over developing on the Solana blockchain, and we're going through the boot camp again, kind of doing a refresher, and at the same time, just really solidifying my skill sets as a developer and program developer. Smart contracts are called programs for Solana, but that's not what this is about. So while I was going through my program development, smart program development on Solana, I ran into a few errors, and I end up, getting a solution to these errors. And then so I said, you know what? This is probably a great opportunity to do a lesson video or, tips to anybody else that may run into these errors or are also on their boot camp journey, development journey, Web3 journey, smart contract journey, coding journey, all that stuff, right? So first things first is that if you need any help, right, with with coding on Solana, first place to go is solana.com/developers, right? If you go here in developers, they have the guides, the learning center, resources, Solana documentations. Great place to start. Next thing you may want to look at is the Jupyter platform. This is going to help you with just setting up a browser platform for you to just practice any of your coding, and just makes it really, really super simple to get a dev environment just ready and available without you having to go through, a lot of the install steps. But if you are someone that wants to make sure you have a local environment prepared and set up, you can go ahead and do that as well. And so today, and also on YouTube, right, there's just a lot of it's really a lot of information available to you, for you, to help you with Solana. And one of them is this right here. I believe
And then
this
we
is the
have the
most
actual landmark.
recent. Okay. And this is the Solana Bootcamp from the Solana YouTube channel. Okay. You can see here. All right. So with this program development, okay, so we're working on running a script and then just running our very first transaction on the blockchain. So all right, so these are a whole bunch of different projects I've worked on, right? So let me go ahead and just pull up a new terminal window here. Okay, and kind of just do that a little bit. So one of the first things you want to do, right, is set up a directory specific for programming, right? So if you don't have that, mkdir, you can do make directory. So it's mk dir, okay, and then you can name the directory. All right, name it whatever you want, sol dev, w3 pof teach, whatever it is. Okay. Once you have the directory created, you're going to do cd, which stands for change directory, and then you're going to enter that directory, right? So now I'm in my directory. And if you do ls, which stands for list, right, it will list out all of the folders available in this directory. So we created a folder here, or a directory rather, specifically for Solana development and Solana testing, and I called it Sol Dev. So I'm going to do cd Sol Dev, okay, and that will now put me into that folder, and I mean in the directory. And another thing to do, if you can't remember like what's in the directory and how to navigate through it, right, just go ahead and type in ls, okay, and it's going to let me know these are the directories for me. available in SolDev, right? Then you can go ahead and type in clear, all right, to kind of just clear up your page. So if I do ls again, all right, it's going to say, hey, I got JLab, Royals, Pirates, Sol Test, and Test Ledger available. Okay, so we created this in the Royals Pirate, right? So we're going to do CD Royals Pirate. And if you guys don't know what Royals is the NFT collection I created and put on Solana. Really, Solana is the original place where I minted and created my first NFT collection. My first, and well, this is going to be my main NFT collection. We have some other ones, but this is the collection. We also deployed the collection on Polygon too, as well, in collaboration with Rarible. Okay, so because Bitcoin, I mean not Bitcoin, blockchain is about collaboration, so we can't just keep things to just one chain. So we're just going to provide multiple chain opportunities. But Solana is and has always been my main chain to support, to learn, to grow with. You can go back to my early YouTube video and you'll see where I talk about Solana in my earliest videos, right? And why I wanted to, but that's not what this is about. So here we enrolls pirate. Go ahead, we're gonna type in ls again, okay, to remember what we got to go into. Then we're gonna go to the pirate bootcamp main, okay, directory, right? So type in pirate bootcamp main. All right, so now that we are in there, we can go ahead and type ls. Okay, so now these are all of the directories in this folder here. And so we're gonna be for this first example, we're gonna be going over quest 1, right? So if we go here to the editor, okay, and the editor, and I go see SolDev right here, see Royals, SolDev right here, Royals Pirate right there, okay, Pirate Bootcamp main. Okay, now you see a whole bunch of different folders, right? Assets, that faucet, quest, right? So for this example, we're just going to be focused on quest and the scripts for quest, right? Which is this very first one, the simple transaction. So when I started this, right, by typing in the yarn demo and then the location, I end up getting multiple errors. And that's like the best thing about coding, is that you're gonna run into errors, and really your job is to learn how to resolve those errors. Okay, so now that we are kind of caught up a bit here, okay, so let me just go ahead and just change directory and go into quest 1. All right, so now that we are here, okay, if I hit ls, you'll see that we have scripts, okay, so that's going to be the directory that we need to go after and to run our script. All right, so now that we have that here, okay, so Pirate Bootcamp, right? So now let's kind of go into, we'll walk you through some of the errors I was going through, right? So once we establish our RPC URL, or I set up the local environment here, okay, then we got into the to the balance, right? We need to make sure that there's enough SOL in the DevNet, right? So we can transact with it, right? Because the SOL is going to allow us to have the lamp ports, so we can pay for the transactions, right? So on Ethereum, you have like gas fees, right? And on Solana, those fees are paid with the lamp ports, something like that, right? So the lamp ports, LAMPORTS, right? Lamp ports. All right, so that's what's used to pay for essentially, I guess, for space on the blockchain, right? So once we have that, right, so you can see here, I end up getting an error for overwrite because I didn't use the force flag because I had already had a key pair available and created essentially a wallet available with Sol on it. So we didn't need to go ahead and do that. All right. But if you do need to do that, right, you're going to need to add in force to change the default and replace it. So to override it. But I didn't need to worry about doing that. So, and I kind of did it on purpose because I wanted to see what errors were going to come up and how to solve them. Also, another thing, when you are, in the terminal, and if you are ever lost or confused and unsure about what to do, you can always type Solana help, okay? And then that will list out the commands, right? The order. All right, so we have Solana, we have the flags, okay, optional, and then the subcommand. Okay, so then this tells you here when you do the Solana flags, right? So for example, if you wanted to find out a version of something, right? So that means you need to do Solana, all right, and then anything with the flags, and that would have to come next. So for example, right, if we wanted to do Solana, all right, dash version, okay, so right, so you can see here we can also do, we can also do a dash capital V, or we can do the dash and type in version, and this tells us here that this should print the version information, right? So let's go ahead and test that out to see if it works. All right, so we did Solana dash version, or not version, okay? And then, so here you can see Solana CLI, right? 117.114. And that's the version that we are using. And I believe there's a more updated one, but we're not going to go through that right now. Okay. And then, so here you can see if we needed to get the key pair information, okay, so you can see this is would print out the file path or URL to your key pair, right? So you will need that information as well. And then you'll also need, to be able to do this with the dash URL. All right. So this is the Solana's JSON RPC or our moniker that will give you, that will allow you to define the testnet, devnet, localhost, right? Where you want this to talk to, right? To connect with. To locate. All right, so the errors that were coming up. All right, so one of the first errors that came up here, all right, so let me just scroll down. Okay, so this error came up. The first one, I wanted to just get Solana account, right? So if you just type in Solana account, right, it's going to say, hey, error, the following required arguments were not provided. The account address, right? So remember, and then it reminds you of the format. Solana account, right? This area, that's where you got to input the address, right? And then you have your dash config and then the file path, right? Remember, the format is flags, options, and then subcommands, right? So flags, options, and subcommands. So dash what was that, config, okay, that is an option, okay, before the subcommand. So we went and did that. I added the address, okay, so now you can see once we did it in the correct format, okay, Solana account, and then the address there, we were able to get the public key, okay, the balance, and the devnet or testnet, whatever. All right, and then the rest of the information. Then I said, hey, I might want to do an airdrop just to test that out, right? So again, Solana airdrop, you can't just do it like that. The following required arguments were not provided, okay? So you need the actual amount. So right, so now it's saying, hey, it should look something like this. Solana airdrop, right, a number, okay, for the amount, a number, and then the exact location if you have the exact location to configure. Okay, so next thing you do, so I said, hey, we're gonna do Solana airdrop. Let's go for 10 Sol. Okay, so next thing you know, requesting an airdrop of 10 Sol. Okay, this is the signature, and now you can see the address now says 5, what's this, 5 million 10, or how many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3. 500,000. No, 500 million. So 510, whatever. So right, so you can see that there. Okay, and then we scroll down, and then so we needed to add cargo to the Solana program, and it couldn't find the cargo.toml. All right, that directory, it couldn't find it. So that's telling us, hey, this is not here. So if this is not here and you can't find it, well, then you're probably gonna need to do an install, right? So you get the cargo and it, all right, and hello world -- lib, right? So it creates that library package for us, and it puts it in a hello world directory, okay? So now when I did ls, okay, you can see we had hello world dash and then hello world underscore, okay? So this wasn't here before, all right? So now that was added. So now when we did that, you can see that it only had this, okay? We added cargo add Solana program, then we did ls. Right now we see the change. Now we have the cargo.lock, okay? And then so after that, we needed to update it to say, hey, we want to interact with the Solana program version 1.17.17. So it did that. It made the updates here to it, to the dependencies, and updated the index, okay, ls, to make sure that's still available. All right, and then we need to change the directories again, okay, and now we're in the Pirate Bootcamp main. So now that we're in a Pirate Bootcamp main, okay, we did ls just to to verify that we are in the right directory. Once we're verified we're in the right directory, right, we scroll on down, and then we go to try to run our script, right, with yarn demo, okay, and then this is the location of the script, right? So it's basically saying, hey, I need you to go to the script directory, okay, inside here, all right, go to scripts, and then select this one, number 1, simple transaction TypeScript.ts. And so run, all right, it goes to try to do that, and then it says, whoa, we can't find the TypeScript config path. This is not here, so we can't register, error. So if that comes up, right, and you're starting off your book, you're starting off your journey, and this comes up, okay, so one of the things that you're going to need to do is actually solve it by installing, okay, your TS config path, right? So you can do npm install -- save -dev ts config -path, okay? So that will go through that process, all right? You'll see the packages added, all right? Once that is complete, okay, you can try again, yarn demo, and then you can see that it actually found it, right? And so we get some information for our script, but normally, okay, at the end of this, it's supposed to say transaction complete, but we didn't get it complete. We end up getting another error that says, hey, we can't send the transaction error, right? We got the throw new error. And when we go to send transaction, it says failed to send transaction. Transaction simulation failed. Attempt to debit an account, but found no record of a prior credit. Okay, so essentially it's saying that the account that we airdrop to is not funded. Well, for whatever reason, it's not using that same account, because when we do a balance check, all right, it's there. But see what, and then when I check this address, okay, and we do that, right? And I actually added some more SOL to it. It's here, 5. Okay, so what was going on is that the new key pair was created and we don't know if it was funded, right? So we did another airdrop to make sure that was funded, okay? And we typed in the right address, okay, to make sure that it was funded. All right, so you can see Solana --URL devnet airdrop 5 to this address. All right, requesting airdrop and signature. All right, 5 SOL. Okay, so then it says, hey, error, account not found. Here's the public key. So it's saying it can't find the account. All right, so I'm like, what's going on? Let me try to run the script again. It runs the script, and now we see that the payer address is AXZUR. Well, that is not the same. That's not, that's not the address of 9K, right? That's not that address. And that's the one we were checking the balance on. And we airdropped to. So that didn't work. So when that happens, right, an airdrop is automatically initiated, right, with this script, right? It checks the balance, it see that it's low, request an airdrop, and then it goes through. Then we got another error. Throw new error, Solana JSON RPC error. Airdrop to this failed internal error. So essentially this failed probably because there was just too much going on, and for whatever reason it wasn't reading the balance, right? Because even when I did this and I checked the balance for that address, right, 0 SOL. Even though we had requested 1 appear for that address, okay, but we're still getting 0 SOL. So then I manually did a Solana airdrop 5 to that address, requesting it. Signature went through, 5 SOL. All right. So now I said, all right, let me just run a check. Solana account with this address, give me some information. So is now I got the key, the public key. It's telling me there's 5 SOL in it. All right. So I'm like, okay, cool. We should be good, right? So let's run the script. Yarn demo. The script, right? Payer address right here. Deprecated. Now, here it is. Now, for some reason, it was checking the balance. The low balance was initiated, requesting an airdrop. Server response too many. Another thing is that you can't request multiple airdrops, right? So like once you get like 1 or 2 airdrops, you need to wait 24 hours before you can start requesting more. All right, and that's to make people make sure like they don't screw up things with that, right? So then I had to go to the code, okay, and find where the airdrop is, right? So in the code you see here it checks for the current balance, all right, it said, and that's where we get the console log. It gives us the log of the balance, all right, in Lamperts and Sol. And then after that, it says airdrop on low balance, right? So this wasn't commented out. And this is basically an if statement that says, hey, if the balance is low, request an airdrop. Now, I just wanted to just take this out, right? Because I knew there was a balance in there, all right? Because we just tested it, and I didn't want that running whatsoever. So I go ahead, commented that out. Okay, resave the file. All right, now let's test it again. Yarn demo. Yarn demo went through, right? Here's the payer address. You can see now here it checks the balance, right? It checks the balance. And now you can see new key pair generated. New key pairs generated. We get that address, the total Lamperts to it. Okay, and then we get all of that information that goes through transaction completed and done in 3.39 seconds. Now, this is a long video on a lot of minute details when it comes to coding, right? And trying to figure things out. And I gave you a lot more information than probably what I was initially set out to do. But this is what it takes to figure out your path to become better as a developer. And this is what I'm doing so I can become a better developer for the blockchain and for the community. So thank you for watching. This is Simon from W3 MCT.